My beloved child, the truth about who you are is far greater than the small image of yourself that you have grown accustomed to seeing throughout the years. I want you to pause and listen with a calm heart, because what you need to discover today is not found in the praise of others, nor is it determined by the times you have failed. A radiant identity was placed deep within you long before the first words of judgment ever touched your life. It has remained there, whole and untouched, patiently awaiting the day when you would become mature enough to recognize it. Now that you have passed through many seasons of testing, I am gently removing each veil that covered it so that you may see yourself again with new eyes. You will be astonished to realize that the person you once believed you had to become was never as precious as the true person I created you to be. For a very long time, you have carried names and labels given to you by your circumstances. Some called you weak, simply because you lived with gentleness. Others said you were slow because they did not understand that you were considering things more deeply than they could see. Certain failures caused you to believe you were incapable. The times you were left behind made you think you were unworthy of being chosen. And long periods without recognition gradually convinced you that your presence carried no meaning. Yet, my beloved child, no loveless word can ever define the work I have created. Those who encountered you for only a brief season could never understand the fullness of the journey on which I am leading you. They saw only a few scattered pages and rushed to judge the entire story. While I know every chapter that has passed and the glorious part still waiting before you, therefore, the first thing you need to release is not your responsibility or your dreams, but the distorted image you have carried of yourself. You were not born to live forever beneath the weight of comparison. Neither must you continue proving your worth by trying to please everyone. Each time you chase the approval of others, you unintentionally move farther away from the gentle calling rising from within. I do not want you to build your life upon applause, because applause may be loud today and disappear tomorrow. I want you to stand firmly upon the knowledge that you were created intentionally, preserved through difficult days, and equipped with qualities suited to the path prepared especially for you. When you understand this, criticism will no longer easily destroy you, and praise will no longer cause you to lose your humility. There is a source of strength that has been sleeping within you, but its silence has never meant weakness. A seed beneath the soil makes no sound, yet a miraculous process is still taking place within it. Its roots quietly grow deep before the first green shoot appears, and what no one can see determines how firmly the tree will stand when strong winds arrive. You have passed through such a season. While others thought you were making no progress, I was helping you take root. While you believed you were being delayed, I was forming patience, discernment, and endurance within you. If you had been raised too soon, your lack of preparation might have caused the very thing you desired to exhaust you. Therefore, I covered you for a season, not to hide you forever, but to protect the tender growth developing within you. The events you endured were not evidence that you had been abandoned. Some doors closed because the places behind them were not spacious enough for what I was doing within you. Certain people left because they could only walk beside the former version of you. While your new season requires companions who know how to honor your light and respect your boundaries, some plans fell apart because they were built upon fear rather than your true calling. At the time, you wept and believed that everything was working against you. But now you will gradually understand that many losses were actually forms of deliverance, disguised in ways you could not yet recognize. I used every difficult road to teach you to look beyond outward appearances, used rejection to redirect your steps, and used silence to help you hear what mattered most. As clarity begins to appear, do not be afraid of the unfamiliar feelings rising within you. You may notice that you can no longer tolerate empty conversations, that you no longer feel peaceful when attempting to make yourself smaller, and that you no longer desire to return to places that once caused you to lose your dignity. This does not mean that you are becoming cold or distant. It is a sign that maturity is correcting the things you once accepted. In the past, you may have remained silent to preserve a relationship, even though that silence caused you pain. You may have continued giving because you feared that others would leave. You may have taken responsibility for mistakes that were never yours, simply to avoid conflict. But as you begin to recognize your true identity, you will understand that love does not require you to erase yourself. Kindness does not mean allowing others to cross every boundary. And compassion does not force you to return to a place that has repeatedly wounded you. I want you to see that your sensitivity is not a flaw. Your ability to recognize sorrow behind another person's smile, to sense uneasiness within a room, or to hear what has not been spoken is part of the gift I placed within you. However, this gift must be guided by wisdom. You were not called to carry every burden upon yourself, nor are you responsible for rescuing everyone you meet. At times, the most loving thing you can do is to wish another person peace and step aside, allowing them to learn their own lesson. Sometimes, the right kind of help is not solving every problem for them, but reminding them that they also possess the strength to stand again. When you understand this, you will no longer exhaust yourself trying to become a shelter for people who come only when they are in need and leave when you are the one who feels weak. Your true identity is also revealed through the way you survived the things you once believed would destroy you. You are not merely someone who was wounded. You are someone who learned to transform pain into understanding. You are not merely someone who was rejected. You are someone learning to open the door to more sincere relationships. You are not merely someone who once lost direction. You are someone becoming able to guide those who remain trapped in the darkness you have already crossed. These experiences do not need to become a cage that imprisons you in the past. They can become a bridge carrying you toward a greater purpose. When you tell your story from a place of healing rather than bitterness, your words will carry a strength that no book can teach. Yet this awakening is not an invitation to place yourself above anyone else. Being chosen does not give you the right to look down upon others. It gives you the responsibility to live with greater truthfulness, love, and awareness. Light does not need to boast that it is bright, because its presence alone changes the room. In the same way, do not rush to announce everything I am doing within you. Allow your transformation to be seen in the way you respond when misunderstood, in the way you keep your word when no one is watching, in the way you treat those who can offer you nothing in return, and in the way you preserve a pure heart in a world that easily causes people to become hardened. True identity always produces fruit. It does not merely create beautiful words. From this day forward, when old thoughts return and tell you that you are not good enough, remember that they are only echoes from a season that has already passed. When memories tempt you to return to the smaller image you once carried, calmly remind yourself that you have already been led out of that place. You do not need to fight every thought with anger. You simply need to refuse agreement with it. Choose what nourishes peace. Remain near those who encourage your growth. and spend time in stillness so that you may recognize your direction. Each day that you live according to what is true, the old garment of insecurity will feel more unfamiliar. The day will come when you look back and wonder why you ever allowed the words of others to hold so much power over you. My beloved child, I am calling you out of confusion and into a life of greater clarity. You are not a mistake, not the shadow of another person, and not a story written by those who once failed to see your value. You are a creation formed with purpose, carrying within you the ability to rise, to heal, to love, and to carry light through places that were once filled with darkness. What has been sleeping is beginning to awaken. What has been covered is being revealed. And what once caused you shame will no longer rule you. Walk slowly, but walk firmly. Do not force yourself to become a strange image, merely to impress the world. Return to the true person I placed within you from the beginning. When you live from that place, you will no longer ask whether you are valuable enough, because the peace, courage, and love within you will become the answer. You have often wondered why certain roads suddenly closed, why people who were once so close moved away, and why things that seemed about to become yours disappeared before you could hold them. I know that each time this happened, you looked at the emptiness left behind and called it loss. But today, I want you to look more deeply. Not everything that leaves your life is being taken from you, because some separations are the quiet hand of protection, leading you away from places that no longer belong in your future. Some doors closed because the journey behind them would have caused you gradually to forget who you were. Some rejections appeared not because you were unworthy, but because what was being withheld was too small compared with the place toward which you were being led. Some people could not continue with you because they were permitted to accompany you through only a certain part of the journey, while the next chapter requires you to walk with a new level of maturity. Before you understood, you easily grieved and blamed yourself. Yet when you look back, you will realize that many things you once prayed to keep might have trapped you for years in a version of yourself that no longer fit who you were becoming. Your true identity has never been determined by what you could not keep, by plans that failed, or by relationships that ended. You are not the sum of your failures, nor are you the name others once called you when they had not yet recognized your value. I led you out of places that continually required you to diminish yourself in order to be accepted, because I did not want you to spend your entire life asking permission from others simply to exist. Some environments forced you to hide your creativity, soften your voice, lower your dreams, and pretend that you did not desire anything more. You called that adjustment peace. Yet, deep within, you knew that you were slowly losing your authenticity. Therefore, I allowed discomfort to arise and caused what was once familiar to become too narrow, so that you could no longer remain in a place that felt safe but would never allow you to grow. My guidance does not always come in the form of a smooth road. It may appear as an unexpected turn, a confusing delay, or a season in which you stand at a crossroads without knowing which direction to take. Yet even when your eyes cannot see the way, my hand has not released your life. Every season of waiting is teaching you something that haste could never teach. Every redirection is guiding you away from a choice that appears attractive only on the surface. Every turning point that seems to ruin your plan may actually be the means by which I free you from what no longer serves a greater purpose. You often want to understand before you trust. But some journeys become clear only after you have had the courage to walk through them. I do not require you to know the entire road. I only ask that you not allow uncertainty to send you back to the place that once exhausted you. There will be days when you can see only enough light for one step. But one step taken in faith is stronger than 100 plans built upon fear. What is happening is not a series of unrelated events. Encounters, separations, delays, and even moments that seemed meaningless are being woven together to bring you to a place you were not yet strong enough to receive before. You have also wondered why you always felt different, even when you tried to fit in, laugh with everyone else, and follow the patterns considered normal. Many times, you questioned whether this difference was a flaw that needed to be hidden. But I tell you that this feeling did not arise to separate you from the world. It came to remind you that your journey was never created to copy the life of another. You may learn from others, but you were not born to become their reflection. Some things please many people, yet leave your heart empty. Some goals are pursued by countless others, but even when you reach them, you still feel that you have not truly lived. This is not ingratitude. It is a sign that a calling deeper than outward standards exists within you. I placed in you a way of seeing, a voice, and an ability to perceive that no one else can replace. This does not make you greater than others, but it gives you a responsibility that only you can fulfill. There were times when you tried to silence that calling because you were afraid of being misunderstood. You chose silence when it was time to speak, stepped backward when you were invited to move forward, and selected what was familiar, even though you knew it no longer helped you grow. Yet no matter how hard you tried to forget, that inner urging continued to return. It appeared during sleepless nights, in moments when you sensed that you were capable of more, and in the uneasiness you felt each time you betrayed what you truly believed. I did not place that longing within you to torment you, but to lead you back to your original self, your most sincere desires, your deepest questions, and even the challenges that repeatedly returned have all been helping to uncover what was planted within you long ago. You do not need to manufacture your calling. You only need to stop running from it. When you cease resisting yourself, you will realize that many things exhausted you, not because they were too difficult, but because you spent too much strength trying to become someone you were never created to be. The value I placed within you is not so fragile that it can be destroyed by criticism, failure, or the lack of recognition from others. It does not increase when you are praised, nor does it diminish when you are overlooked. If you place your identity in the approval of others, you will always be forced to change according to the way they see you. Today, they may lift you up, and tomorrow, they may cause you to doubt yourself. But when you establish your foundation in my presence, you will no longer be carried away by constantly changing opinions. You will learn to receive correction without allowing it to become a sentence against you. You will acknowledge your mistakes without despising yourself. You will be humble enough to change, yet steady enough not to permit anyone to define you by a chapter that has already passed. This stability will not make you cold. On the contrary, it will help you love with a free heart, no longer clinging to or manipulating others in order to remain in their lives. As you begin to embrace your true self, the change will come gently but unmistakably. You will no longer enter a room and immediately wonder what everyone thinks of you. You will stop controlling every word out of fear of judgment. You will cease apologizing for sincere dreams. Stop minimizing your talents, and stop pretending that you do not care about what truly moves your heart. Your voice will gradually carry greater weight, not because you speak more loudly, but because your words will begin to come from conviction rather than from pain. Your actions will also become aligned with what you believe. You will stop making promises to yourself and repeatedly abandoning them. This confidence will not be an arrogant appearance, but the peace of one who knows they are standing in the right place. You will not need to force anything in order to prove yourself, because what is true will grow naturally when nourished by faithfulness, disciplina, and courage. I know there were days when you felt invisible. You walked through crowds, yet no one truly recognized what you carried within. You gave more than you received, made every effort but remained unnoticed, and began to wonder whether your presence made any difference at all. Those moments were heavy, but they do not have the authority to define you. They only expose the false beliefs that attach themselves to you through abandonment, comparison, and the experience of not being heard. You once mistook the silence of others for proof that you did not matter. You believed that a missed opportunity meant that you lacked ability. You allowed one person's coldness to make you question your entire worth. But today, I am removing each of those false conclusions. You are not what fear once whispered. You are not the failure of your past, nor are you the choice someone else refused to make. You are far greater than those moments. This awakening will not happen only once. It will unfold layer by layer, like dawn, gradually dissolving the darkness. Each day, you will discover something about yourself that you never valued before. Each time you choose honesty instead of pretending, establish a boundary instead of merely enduring, rest instead of punishing yourself, and move forward instead of waiting for permission. You return closer to your noble nature. You do not need to rush toward perfection, because this journey is not a race. Be patient with the parts of you that are still afraid. Be gentle with the places that are still learning how to trust. Maturity does not mean that you will never feel weak again. It means that when weakness comes, you know how to return to the source of peace instead of running back to what once wounded you. I am Michael, and I want you to understand that the things which leave your life cannot carry your future away with them. Your future was never held in the hands of one door, one person, or one opportunity. What belongs to you will arrive when you are wise enough to recognize it, mature enough to preserve it, and courageous enough to enter it. Therefore, stop returning to knock upon doors that have already closed. Do not diminish yourself to keep someone who has chosen to leave. Do not interpret delay as proof that you have been forgotten. You are being prepared for a life larger than the limitations that once surrounded you. Continue walking with calmness, because I am still guiding you through every change. One day, you will look back and understand that what appeared to be loss actually set you free. What appeared to be delay protected you, and what appeared to be an ending was truly an invitation to enter a beginning more worthy of the true person you are gradually discovering. I am not calling you to chase what exhausts your heart. I only want you to open your mind and receive what is being brought to you at the right time. There were seasons when you lived as though everything depended upon your effort to work harder, move faster, and prove yourself stronger. You believed that if you stopped, opportunity would pass you by. If you did not hold tightly, good things would disappear. And if you did not continue searching, you would be forgotten in the crowded stream of life. But now, I want you to understand that what truly belongs to you will not require you to lose your peace in order to obtain it. You do not need to rush toward every door. Keep knocking where no one responds, or beg anyone to recognize your value. I am leading you into a different season, where what is right will recognize you, where the proper opportunity will arrive when you are prepared, and where you will no longer need to make yourself small in order to enter. Your responsibility is not to control every movement ahead, but to remain awake. Keep your hands open and possess enough courage to receive the new thing when it appears. When you look back upon the road you have traveled, you will see how many experiences once made you question why they existed. There were paths that offered no answers, seasons of waiting that appeared to lead nowhere, and doors that closed when you believed you were ready to walk through them. You carried many questions without knowing where to place them, tried to connect the scattered pieces of your life, and often became more confused the longer you thought about them. Yet what you could not see at the time was that every experience was quietly strengthening an important part of you. Delayed days taught you patience. Misunderstanding taught you not to place your identity in the judgments of others. Loneliness taught you to listen more deeply, and disappointment helped you recognize what was truly worth keeping. No part of that journey passed without meaning. Even the chapters you most wanted to forget contributed to the wisdom you possess today. Therefore, do not view your former pain as evidence that you were abandoned. Do not call the waiting years stolen time. And do not be ashamed that you once lived in confusion. I used all these things as a craftsman uses different tools to complete something precious. Sometimes I used silence to deepen your heart. Sometimes I used separation to teach you the difference between attachment and dependence. Sometimes I allowed you to cross a barren place so that you would recognize the value of refreshing water when it appeared. What once caused you to collapse is now becoming the foundation that helps you stand. What once made you doubt your worth is now helping you understand that true value cannot be taken away by rejection, failure, or a season of being unseen. You were prepared during days when no one applauded, so that when something great arrives, you will neither be blinded by its brightness nor forget where your growth began. An important encounter is being placed upon your path, but you must view it with discernment rather than through temporary emotion alone. This encounter may arrive in a very ordinary form, an unexpected conversation, a person appearing at the right moment, an opportunity mentioned during a discussion that seemed unrelated, or an initial connection that does not immediately reveal its full meaning. Do not dismiss it simply because it does not appear in the dazzling form you once imagined. Many great changes begin with moments so small that those who are not attentive easily overlook them. What I am preparing will not end with a single meeting. It will begin a new chain of movement, connecting you with possibilities beyond the boundaries you once knew, and leading you out of the limitations that have confined your thinking for too long. One word may become a key. One connection may lead to a door. One door may change the direction of many years ahead. For this reason, now is not the time to return to the habit of doubting yourself. When something new appears, the fearful part of you may immediately repeat former failures, telling you that you are not capable enough, wise enough, or worthy enough. But, my beloved child, remember that your preparation is not measured only by what you know, but also by what you have endured, learned, and overcome. You are not entering a new position empty-handed. You carry endurance built over many years. compassion born through pain, and caution refined through former mistakes. I am not placing you there to shame you or prove that you are weak. I am bringing you there because something within you is suited to this moment. You may not feel completely ready, but readiness does not always mean the absence of fear. Sometimes it means choosing to move forward while your heart is still trembling because you know that your steps are not without purpose. The clarity I bring will not force you to keep guessing or live in constant tension. It will arrive with a deep confirmation that cannot be mistaken for haste. You will feel peace, even while some steps ahead remain unknown. You will not need everyone to agree before you move forward. Nor will you need to search for hundreds of signs to confirm what you have already recognized within. When the time comes, you will understand what must be accepted, what must be awaited, and what must be refused. This clarity may arrive through a sentence that touches the exact place where you need guidance, through a truth being revealed, or through a door opening so quickly that you recognize it was not created by your own strength. What was quietly developing beyond your sight will step into the light and help you understand that much was still moving, even during the days when you believed nothing was happening. Then you will look back and realize that every step was guided, including the moments when you felt most alone. There were roads I did not explain beforehand because, had you known every turn, fear might have prevented you from beginning. There were people I did not allow to remain because their presence would have kept you dependent upon an older version of yourself. There were plans I permitted to fall apart, not because I wanted you to suffer, but because they were too small compared with what was being prepared. While you mourned over one closed path, I was quietly guiding you toward a broader direction. While you believed you were being slowed down, I was preventing you from entering a place that was not ready to receive you. And while you thought no one understood your journey, I remained near, preserving you through every long night and refusing to allow anything you endured to become meaningless. Therefore, enter this new season without carrying the haste of former days. You do not need to run in order to prove that you deserve what is coming. You only need to live honestly, preserve a pure heart, and refuse to let fear cause you to miss the moment that has been prepared. When that encounter appears, be fully present. Listen, not only with your ears, but with the wisdom that has been developed throughout your journey. Do not make yourself smaller. Pretend that you do not care, or withdraw simply because the new feels unfamiliar. I have carried you through enough for you no longer to live as someone constantly waiting for something terrible to happen. Allow yourself to believe that good things can also come and remain. You were not prepared merely to continue living within old cycles. You were refined to step into a broader direction where peace, wisdom, and purpose walk together. And as you move forward, you will know that you were never truly walking alone.